Hey guys, welcome back to rhrjen. I'm so glad you're here. Honk honk, everyone. Guys, I have such a good show for you today. We are talking some of the craziness going on with as ever, as if. Reddit is kind of blowing up right now, and it's talking about some of the weirdness going on with as ever. So I want to dive into that, tell you my thoughts on it, and get some of yours. So let's jump right on into this. I'm Jen. Thank you for being here. Make sure you're subscribed as I'm pushing hard to the 200,000 mark. Hit the thumbs up, and if you'll leave me any kind of comment, even a honk honk, that helped you to recommend my video, and I sincerely appreciate that. Now let's jump right on into this. So St. Meghan Markle is the Reddit group that often goes over, well, whatever Hank and Skank are up to right now. And right now, it seems to be a lot about as ever. Now, I don't pretend to be an Instagram expert. I'm off all social media, so I don't even pretend to know how this works. But there's something weird happening, okay, on her as ever official. And what that is, if you take a look, this is the latest post, okay, at the time of this recording. And it looks at first glance like, oh yeah, people have bought her products and they're posting about it. Look, oh my gosh. Uh love seeing your packages today. And it's like, oh, can't wait to make this for my little. That's something that Meghan says. Things like that. Does a happy mail dance, that kind of thing. Okay. Look at the handwriting, the loopy swoopy BS calligraphy, all of it. What do you notice though? And this is what a lot of people are flocking to, if you will. What a lot of people are noticing is, hey, there's something weird here. And that is, where are the original handles of the people? Where are the handles of the people that were posting this? Meaning, let's say you bought some of my merch, and I do have merch available. Check it out. But let's say you bought it, everything's fine t-shirt, okay? And you posted it, right? Then I would repost it and say, thanks for your support or whatever, but it would have your handle on it to show whoever, Bob Smith bought my stuff. Thank you, Bob Smith. Whoever you are bought my stuff. And I'd be like, cool, thanks. Thanks for the support, whatever. These don't have that. So it's almost like one might wonder or suspect if her team picked up some things, staged some photos, and then they wouldn't have handles, right? Why else would you cut them off? Because if you're legitimately thanking people, you would want to include the handles. So it's just, she's not doing herself any favors at all. It seems like something she's cooked up to make herself look better. And it's just, again, it's like the moon bump dance or whatever you think was going on, the twerk, where it's like, did you think this was a good idea? And then it makes people question you more. Did you think this was a good idea? It's making people question you more. But she's posted this and things like sparks joy. I mean, it's all things that Meghan would say. And I get it. Her fans might say stuff like that, but it's just weird to cut off the usernames, because that's a part of it. I hope I've explained that clearly. So, because we're going to get into this, and that's a big issue that you can see people have had with it, including Locksmith Far 9486, who says, now, if someone tagging as ever on an Insta story, they didn't just repost it, they screenshot it first and then posted it as a picture, so people don't know who this buyer is or whether they're real or not. It's so blanking strange. Yeah. And I think that's, again, just my suspicion, just my hunch. That's why she did it. Because then I can't verify if whomever bought this. I can't see whomever's profile or whatever page and see if they look legit or if they're a bot or if it's hypothetically, allegedly, maybe somebody that works for Meghan, that kind of thing. Just saying. It is very strange. If you're known to be shady, why would you do something like that? I'm just saying it's weird. Deep Palm points out, I cannot possibly dislike this LOL cow more. Her design aesthetic is nauseating and adolescent and pedestrian. Yeah, it really is. I just think it's like Arrested Development. I think it's very juvenile in everything she does. Everything is well, as I say, look at me, attention grab. But then It's just very well, pedestrian is a great way to describe it. It's very run of the mill. It's very not special, just like the name as ever. It's bizarre. But then again, so are flower sprinkles, right? They're just stuck. I don't it feels like a time warp. This person says, considering she was in the same room as Her Majesty the late Queen and other royals and had access to the literal best of the best, it's surprising how little she was influenced. Yeah, that to me just speaks so much about Meghan and how she just thinks she's the greatest. She doesn't need help from anyone. Look at everything she wears. Look at everything she does. She has a team or had a team before 22 of them left. She had a team around her. Good or bad, she hired them. You can't tell me she was listening to these people. They can't all be this messed up. It's got to be Meghan. This is just my opinion, but it seems like it's just Meghan being Meghan, not listening to anybody, and that's why she keeps making these same mistakes over and over, because Lord knows the staff turnover is so high. If she was listening to them, she'd have new ideas, but she doesn't. So, yeah, it's surprising. This person says that's her biggest problem. She thinks she's so much better than everyone else. By looking down on everyone, she shows she's incapable of learning anything new or taking advice. That's what I think as well. I think she thought she would go in and modernize the royals. Right? Like they've done things like this for a reason for so long, and it's lasted so long for a reason. But she thought she knew better. So here we are again. She thought she knew better. And it's becoming even more of a disaster by the day, it seems. So this was the original comment that says, and that dang calligraphy. And then they point out calligraphy. Exactly. I've been through that. I did take a little calligraphy. That is not calligraphy. Deep Poem points out it's more schoolgirl imaginings. Uh-huh. I think so too. Very much. It's like, yeah, something she would scribble on her notebook. And it's quite stunning how oblivious she is to her own misjudgment and poor taste. Again, have you seen her clothes? I mean, hello. It's just over and over the same weird things. And just, my opinion's the best. You can't beat it. Nobody else knows. I won't listen to anybody else. It is astonishing at this point. Drama Queen points out, is she creating faux influencer posts? That's what I suspect. Did people post these or is it coming from Rachel at Hotmail? Good question. We don't even know because the at symbol or all that, the handle is cut off. So sure, it probably is that, but then it's been cut off. It would be funny if we found out it's the same one just hugging at the fires that happened to walk back with them, things like that. It's just so Rachel to do something like this, to have something like her staff do something like this. This person says the badly written foligraphy on each post is giving demented teacher grading assignments. You cannot tell me that she hand wrote this stuff. It's got to be printed, right? If it's handwritten, then that's even more evidence, in my opinion, that it's all BS. It's all her interns, and she's just written this because she thinks it adds a special touch to things. Excellent Bear points out, well, obviously, we must all assume, since we aren't allowed to comment on her Insta, nor allowed to see who's supposedly buying her merch or how much of it was sold, or I'll take you one further. She doesn't even let us see how many likes she has on a post and stuff. Let's see, who's about, that Meghan is wildly popular and beloved. The insane theory behind her PR team's plan. Exactly. That's exactly it. You'd think if you wanted to strengthen her argument, you could by showing facts. Somebody with some sense would come along and be like, okay, they're not believing you, but we're going to show these numbers and we're going to show how we're doing. They don't do that. I suspect it's because they don't have the numbers to back it up. And she's unable to do that. I've said before, you think if she sold I pick an arbitrary number, 500,000 jars. She would be screaming from the rooftops, I sold 500,000 jars. She doesn't do it like that. She doesn't say the number. So I suspect she sold very few. That's just my hunch, just my opinion, but I suspect it's something like that. She sold very few. And does a male happy dance. So that person that did the male happy dance had posted the flamenco dancer. And this person points out, noted that you've gone flamenco instead of yacht hoover. It's pretty good. Susie points out, agree. She thinks we're stupid. And I always say, I don't believe anything she says, nor I believe any of her videos. Yeah, that's exactly where I fall. But I'm sorry, after so many whoppers, porky pies, who would believe it? The only ones buying it are the mediocre mafia. They just buy whatever she's selling, but not literally, because I don't think she sold that much stuff. I just mean buy whatever lies she's shoveling in at that point. So I can't really make sense out of that. This person says that is because there are no real stories, because these are not real purchases. That's the opinion that I have as well. Bingo. When it became obvious that her crop wasn't going to sell out, she likely stepped in and bought the remaining stock herself, so she wouldn't look like the failure she is. These pics are her interns or new staff attempting to appear as happy customers. Only stupid people would fall for this kind of trickery. Looking at you, Ted Netflix. I love that name so much. Yeah. Again, I think it's just the mediocre mafia that's buying this stuff, but the rest of us say, huh? I don't know. It seems really fishy and I don't buy it. Just saying. Ted Netflix. I'm going to talk Harry for a minute, but I'm not even going to pull up the article because I just can't much anything for Harry. But Radar is pointing out that exiled Prince Harry drops huge clue he's plotting baffling bid. Return to the royal family, leaving critics laughing. It will never happen. It will never happen. Good luck, Harold of Harold and Fraud. How's that going to go? I think if he ends up going back at all, he'll be relegated to the back with Andrew, and we won't see or hear from him. Just a hunch, but I don't think he's even going to do that. All right. Busy Me says, I believe it. I do think Harry wants back big time. I wonder. But he's too proud. He's too proud. I'm sure in his head he wants back, but I don't know if he'll actually admit it, because then he'd have to admit he was wrong. And I don't think he's capable of doing that. And he keeps digging on the family. So Goldcut says, so the part on Oprah, the demon interview, where he says his father and William are trapped. I think you're trapped, Harry. It took us a minute. It took you years. Sorry, to you it took years. Yeah, years to figure out that he was trapped. Maybe so. But I don't feel sorry for the dude. I really don't. Again, it's the hell of his own making. He brought this upon himself. He sat right there while she curtsied. And again, he's constantly bad-mouthing them and bashing them. And even like talking about the royal family, saying private medical things about his dad and his brother. And it's just like, no, you don't. You're just as bad as Meghan, if not worse sometimes on some of the stuff. So yeah, you can want it all you want, but I don't know if he'll be welcome back. Muttley Snickering points out, welcome to Blink Around and Find Out. Exit 1 mile ahead. Enjoy your stay. Yeah. All right. Harry now realizes he's trapped too, and he longs for the familiar royal cage. Yeah, I think about that too. Do you remember in the book Spare? Oh, spare me. I want my life back from that, reading that book. He talked about that he was the only one that married for love. Again, he's talking about, he put down with that, saying that everybody in the royal family, but think about, Her Majesty the late Queen and how long she was married to Prince Philip. Think about King Charles and Camilla. Think about Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales. It's just unbelievable. Of course he would say something awful like that and take any dig he can and be so full of himself that he thinks he has the loving marriage. This person says somebody call the ambulance stat. In that interview, Harry also says he didn't realize he was trapped until Meghan told him. Oh, I remember that. Do you remember that? He basically, that's Well, that's essentially what he said. Meghan let him know how bad things were. Okay, idiot. This person says Meghan sunk his battleship, to which they said she was the iceberg to his Titanic. And this person says, I think he was a cruiser, not a battleship. Maybe a frigate. She's a destroyer. I thought that's pretty good. And then this person says, tough toenails. He's burnt his bridges, sunk all his ships, salted the earth around him, cooked his goose. Hey, how dare you? We don't cook geese here. But I get what you're saying. But we don't cook geese. We love geese. We are geese. All right. So let's take a look at this post. Tell me I got the username. Yes, here we are. Futtabaters posted this, pointing out that they believe, okay, so we've heard about the Republic of Tea thing, right? That allegedly people had found out that it was just Republic of Tea stuff that was being repackaged and then shipped. Well, now they think Williams Sonoma might be the ones that are doing her products. So this, again, sorry, wrong way. So this person is pointing out, so when she poured those peanut biscuit things into another packet and slapped a pointless, overdone label on it, she was showing her entire business model right there. So the idea being that is she repackaging this stuff? And it's not necessarily that she just bought straight from Williams Sonoma. It may be that she's using the same supplier. I don't know. But it brings up an interesting question, an interesting point about all this. Like, what is she doing? Because that makes it even stranger. Think about, okay, so Republic of Tea and Williams Sonoma, or whomever the again, the manufacturers are, I guess it would be, or the supply. I don't know the right words, but you get what I'm saying. Whoever's doing the supplying of these products, she's paired up with them allegedly, right? And so if she did, explain to me the supply of it all. Because if it's, I don't know, let's get into it. Because people are pointing out, like, it wouldn't run out like that. You'd have much more supply. And if it was so small that she ran out that quick, then she would have had to pay more. And so it blows my mind, and I cannot make sense out of it at all. I really can't. It doesn't make any sense. Again, I have a history in public relations and marketing, and I can't say that I've gotten to the manufacturing side. So maybe I have this little wrong, but the way I'm understanding it and just thinking it out, you got me. I, I don't know. I really can't make sense out of this. How would you run out unless none of it is real? Which is what I suspect. That she only had a few specialty items made, sold through them, however you want to say that happened, whether it's to friends, not family, but like friends or people that were prearranged to buy them, or maybe just a few fans, something like that. And then that was that. So that way she can say she sold out. I assume it's something like that. But then she would have had to pay so much for such a small batch of items. It seems like the worst business model. Every time I think she's done the worst business move I've ever heard, she outdoes herself. Like these PR moves she keeps making, like rebranding her business, not signing paperwork, saying that she's planned for years, but then seemingly just doing things by the seat of her pants last minute and then not having any inventory or follow through. Making announcements like, okay, we'll be returning next year to work on this, and then suddenly doing a relaunch. And then not even dropping the wine at the same time, waiting till her passed away mother-in-law's birthday to drop that. It really is the worst business model of any it's astonishingly bad. So that leads back into my theory that nobody's advising her. She's doing this herself. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, so oh man, seriously, we need to not look so hard next time. What gets me is that she's such an idiot. There's not a chance in hell of a shortage of Williams Sonoma products. She's proven done a complete fraud. So I am agreeing with what you're saying, but I am not I'm not believing that she bought directly from Williams Sonoma. I'm believing she's using whatever, what is the word? The seller, the people that are actually making this stuff for William, the supplier, I guess, for Williams Sonoma. Maybe that's a better word. So she's seemingly paired up with them because, like, they're talking about the Bridgerton series under Williams Sonoma. I would imagine. Does it still have, sorry, I'm just thinking this out. Does it still have the identifying marks? I cannot read that tiny ring. Oh my gosh, it's so small. I see. Yeah, it says Williams Sonoma on top, right? I think with Bridgerton. So it would have Williams Sonoma. So I wonder, I feel like she's paired up with the manufacturer. Maybe. And again, these are my opinions and all alleged, but just working it out. Yeah, it just makes less and less sense. I know I'm stuck because I'm trying to make sense out of something that makes less than no sense. This person says, yeah, I assume she couldn't restock because she hadn't paid her invoices for the first lot. That thought crossed my mind too. I wondered if it was something like that. Like if there's some sort of issue there, but honestly, I go back to the simplest explanation, which is probably, I don't know, I'm picking arbitrary numbers. She had 30 products, whatever, 30 items, 30, not 30 SKUs, 30 items to sell. She sold them and she's like, okay, I'm sold out. The end. There you go. Here you go, assistants. Go take pictures. Don't use any ats or handles. With the revelation of the sources, we know there's a reliable supply that are available at all times. Her scarcity cosplays because she doesn't have the money for the goods. Is it that she doesn't have the money for the goods, or is it she doesn't have the buyers for the goods? Because you can have all the money in the world, but if you don't have the buyers, what is that? You don't have anything. I suspect it's probably both. Not having the money, but also not, I mean, I know a couple people might buy it, some of her loyal followers, but I can't imagine 12-year-olds can use credit cards. No, but I just can't imagine she has a ton of those. So, I mean, if she did, she would have her numbers unlocked for all the world to see, right? Like the thumbs up and stuff and or hearts or whatever. She just hides all that stuff to keep it a mystery. That was seriously the oddest comment. Oh, okay. So they were talking about the SKUs and how weird it was about her talking about the SKUs. And that's what I pulled this comment because I was on the same page thinking, that's why she knows SKUs. That's why she's saying SKUs is because of ordering essentially from a catalog. Now, friend of the show, John Witherspoon, had such good points about, I was talking to him about this and I was bouncing off him. And he was saying, could she, and this is all opinion and alleged, and we're just bouncing ideas off each other, but could she be drop shipping? Maybe. Maybe she is. Yeah, because I can't, she doesn't have a warehouse of things, but I almost wonder again, is it just that she only had, I'm just picking arbitrary number, 20 things to sell? And so that way she didn't, I don't know, she didn't need a warehouse, so she just sent them. Whatever the shadiest answer is, that's what I think is going on. Let's see. Maybe she has to know the SKUs to write them down from the catalog of products she's shopping from and then merching as her own. It all makes sense now. That's pretty funny. There might be something to that. But how can she be a fraud? She learned all about the SKUs. Most manufacturers, especially the size of Williams Sonoma's, don't do small batch runs. When you do, they're extremely expensive. Okay, so that's where my head went too. Is I can't imagine a big company like that. Again, it's not necessarily Williams Sonoma doing it. It might be whoever their manufacturer is, but they're not just going to make, maybe they will. I don't know. I wouldn't think that they would make just whatever, a small number of products. And if they did, That's where the word bespoke comes in, and it's super crazy expensive. So, is she only ordering a couple of these things and taking a bath on it? That's what I suspect as well. Like paying through the nose for these bespoke products, sending out a few and calling it a day, saying she's sold out to try to get attention for herself. I wouldn't put it I would put nothing past her. I really wouldn't. She's in a catch-22. She doesn't have the money to properly launch at scale, but by not launching at scale, she's paying much higher prices for the runs. That's a very interesting point of view, and my gut says I wonder if it is something like that. I really do. Again, the weirdest answer is usually the right one with Harold and fraud. Exactly. They're going to look at bottom lines. Oh, sorry. This one's out of order. So what they're showing here is they're talking about her dramatic pause after saying "excuse." But what they suspect is that she is trying to show that she sold out to try to get somebody to buy her business. But then other people were pointing out, well, no, because all they need to do is look at bottom lines. Not, oh, you sold out in 30 minutes. Great. Where do I sign? People want to see real numbers. They want to see how much your overhead is versus how much your profit is, all that stuff. Not just I sold out in 30 minutes. Okay, great. But what does that actually mean? How many customers do you have? Where are they buying from? Like all the, sales data. And so again, it's like every other idea she has. I think she just comes up with these things like somebody's going to want to buy my business and puts no thought into them, no follow through. And then we end up with weird stuff like this where the rest of us are going, what? I can't make sense out of it. I don't know. Let me know your comments. Let me know your thoughts in the comments is what I'm trying to say, because I don't know. It's not logical at all. And I think I'm driving myself crazy trying to make it logical. All right. Oh, the dramatic pause after saying the word skew was the last one that I pulled there. But anyway, I need to know your thoughts on all this. What do you think is going on? Is it that she's using the same manufacturers? And why would she sell out? I don't know that I believe she sold out, but why would she allegedly sell out? Why would she have a small batch of it? Do you think it's some sort of drop ship? Let me know. I'm very curious. Inquiring geese want to know. Oh, and I'm motivation because on my weight loss channel, Goose Adventures, I'm doing a step challenge. And also, if you'll indulge me for 1 second, I heard the best quote and I'm taking it to heart and I've written it down. It says, discipline is what keeps you going when motivation fails. Discipline is what keeps you going when motivation fails. Remember that. That's what I'm internalizing. Discipline. Because I'm doing the step challenge every day. I'm really challenging myself to get as many steps as I can to blow past my goal. So it's discipline because I'm not always motivated to do it, but it's discipline at this point. Got to do it. Anyway, that's it for me. Let me know your thoughts on all this. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you guys so much. I truly do. If you want to check out my merch, everything's fine. Check it out. Also, I do have Patreon, patreon.com/Real Housewives Recaps. That's where you can find my bonus episodes, my deep dives. You can become an executive geese or gander, like the ones you see before you on the screen. My sincere thank you to all of you for supporting. It means the whole wide world to me, and I sincerely appreciate it. All right. So I'm going to leave this one here. I really am wanting to know your thoughts on all of this. Make it make sense because I can't. All right, guys. Thanks for everything. Let me know your thoughts and I'll talk to you soon. And then I think probably on Saturday, maybe Sunday, sometime this weekend, I should be dropping the video on the steps challenge. So make sure you're stepping it up, tracking your steps. Get ready to comment in that one and let me know how you did. And yeah, I'm going to let this one go here. Thanks so much for being here. I appreciate you, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye. Okay, they're gone. I'm here. Hi. How are you? How are things? How weird is this whole thing? I hope I explained the Instagram thing right. I get a little hesitant because I don't really I mean, I don't use social media. So I'm trying to explain it to the best of my knowledge. So if I got something a little wrong, forgive me. But I think my point still stands. It's shrouded in mystery and it makes it seem even shadier, right? I mean, I don't like I think there's a way maybe I could hide my thumbs up. I know YouTube hides the thumbs down. I don't care if you see my thumbs down. My worst video probably has like 96% thumbs down. Or sorry, thumbs up, not thumbs down. Whereas most of them are 98 to 99% thumbs up, which is great. I'm not bragging. I'm just saying like I have nothing to be ashamed of or hide or anything like that. And honestly, if I see a spike in thumbs down, it tells me, oh, I may have messed something up or I may have stumbled over something or, said something kind of controversial. But even then, it's still in the 90s. Megan hides all that stuff. And there's a reason. She hides the thumbs up because I think it would honestly be shocking how few thumbs up she would get on a lot of her stuff. I really do. I'm talking about the Instagram. I'm saying thumbs up, hearts, whatever it is over on Instagram, but you get the idea. What's the word? How much people engage with her posts. I think it would be shockingly few, just a hunch. Because hypothetically, it would be much easier to just buy followers, but then if they don't engage with you, then they might not be real followers, right? But if you hide the engagement, then you can't tell if they're real followers or not. One might wonder. Anyway, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. What do you think of the necklace? I've had this one for a while. I just haven't worn it. I think it's kind of fun and kind of different. What do you think? All right, I'm leaving this here. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. And now I've had people saying, I love when you do the do. Some people don't like it. Sorry if you don't. Cut it off here if you don't like it. But if you like it, do. Now let me ask you, do you sing along with it? And do you dance your shoulders too? If not, start dancing. All right, I'm leaving this here. Thanks for being here. Bye.